W.F. House presents an unabridged recording of The Daughter of Paradiso by Francesca Scanacapra, narrated by Penny Andrews. Chapter 1. Pieve Santa Clara, Lombardy, April 1963. I had no key for the enormous padlock which secured the gate to Paradiso, so my daughter, Lucia, and I climbed over. The moment my feet landed in the yard, the familiar tingle of the gravel prickled through the soles of my shoes and filled me with the overwhelming relief of being home. This was the beginning of our new life in Pieve Santa Clara. With the old house to our backs, we looked southwards across the land, where the freshly planted crops of maize and wheat sprouted their spring shoots. Those fields were as flat and as green as a billiard table. The boundaries of the village were edging ever closer to Paradiso. When I was 6 years old, as Lucia was now, the only building in Pieve Santa Clara which had been visible from the spot where we stood had been the church belfry. During my absence, a new row of houses had been built. No more than 3 fields separated us. I turned towards Paradiso. Up close, the old house looked so forlorn in its abandoned state, with its creamy yellow walls faded to grey. Patches of render had come away, exposing the bricks beneath. The paint on the shutters was peeling, and many of the louvres had fallen to the ground. Great tufts of grass poked their heads out of the gutters. It took a few hefty shoves to convince the front door to open. The hallway before us was dark, and the light switch was lifeless. The electricity had been cut off. "Wait here, Lulu," I said. "I'll open up the shutters." With the pale April sunlight suffusing its empty rooms, the house seemed to have aged by a century during the 7 years I'd been away from it, and I was not prepared for such a precipitous deterioration. There were many things which Siamina had neglected during the final years of her life, and over the 18 months or so since her death, when the house had been unaired, unheated, and uninhabited, it had declined further. Blooms of fuzzy mould covered the inside walls. Cobwebs laden with filthy dust blackened every corner, and the stale smell of mildew was pervasive. Paradiso had become a colony for spiders and all manner of crawling and flying things, and Lucia and I had to pick our way carefully over a carpet of dead bugs. Upstairs there were signs of water infiltration. Part of the ceiling in the bedroom, which was destined to be mine, had come down. In Siamina's former bedroom, which I had promised to Lucia, everything was discoloured, with the exception of the outline of the enormous crucifix.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?